Hello, everybody. Hopefully, you're having a wonderful, fantabulous, and mystical day. Over here on the mystical side of life, we're going to be continuing on episode number 7 of the Corrupt Paladin Splash Art. Before we get started, my name is Emmanuel Aguilar, aka Mysticfox 4. I am the artist that is responsible for the Corrupt Paladin series, along with Amelia Hagen, who you should see in the description down below. Go ahead and check out her profile. She makes really cool stories, and she's a really good animator. So, what are we going to talk about this episode? So, we're actually going to continue off of the character splash that we were working on the last episode. Now, I did mention that I was going to do a couple studies of actual splash art in order to get a better feel of the vibe of splash art to be able to portray it in a different light. But I wanted to continue this one and complete this one before I actually did more studies in order to understand it at a different level. So this splash in particular, I didn't do many studies at all. I just kind of looked at other images and kind of, thought, oh, well, I can take this, I can take this, I can take this, but not really anything concrete. So I'm going to dissect what I did and then kind of tell you what I did. Because this is recorded after the fact, after I made the recording of the video, because I can't draw and talk at the same time. It's too difficult. So, let's hop right into it. First, I'm going to talk about the actual character and the render that I did of him, and then after that, I will talk about the background. And then after that, I'll give you a summary of what I just mentioned, and then we're going to call it quits, and you guys can just enjoy the video. So, to start off the actual video, for the primary character, I tried to focus on rendering the objects near him, or the ones that would probably be, the most prominent. Everything else I try to keep fairly shapy. I tried not to render too much, because what ends up happening when you're rendering is that you can render for days and you end up rendering everything in the entire vicinity, but everything's going to be blurred except this one thing, so it doesn't matter. Or I should say it doesn't matter as much because it's going to be blurred. So because it's blurred, there's no reason for you to refine the edge. So I tried to focus more on the actual pieces that are going to be in more focus, aka his arm, his face, a couple of the ladles here and there, a little bit of the center, and the bottom where his weapon is, because that's an important part of his character. So I tried to focus on doing a little bit of like shading and just rendering altogether, because I didn't want to separate them into separate processes. Looking at this now, I probably should have, but hey, the more you do it, the more you mess up, the more you learn. So we're just gonna call it complete, move on to the next one, and do a better job. So that's what we did for the foreground. For the actual character, I was having a lot of trouble doing the coin stuff, not because drawing the coins is difficult, but because drawing a lot of coins is difficult. I was trying to pull reference from places where I saw characters with a lot of coins, and they're mostly just tedious work. It's just a lot of work, and I was thinking at some point to just get an image of a coin and just Photoshop it in and then just multiply it. But I opted out of that because it would take away from a lot of the feel of having the coins there in the first place, because then it would look realistic with some elements that are more artistically drawn with style, opposed to just realistic stuff. And I didn't want to make realistic gritty things. It's just not my style. Sorry. So that's what we did for the main character and the foreground. Now let's talk about a little bit of the background, because it is probably the part that I struggled with the most. So, in the last episode, I remember I was talking to you guys about the environment and how it's actually either supposed to point to the character or reveal some type of story to this character and bringing them to life and showing them in their natural habitat. Now, I tried my very best. I'm going to be straight honest. Tried my very best, but you guys could let me know down below in the comments. What do you think? How well did I do? Did I fail? Is this a flop? Tell me. Because for me, right, I'm just going to give you honest opinion. I don't think I did a very good job on the background, because the background is just a remnant of Atlantis. I couldn't figure out too much of how to incorporate kind of a story into the background until my friend Amelia, who is very wonderful, pointed out that, well, he's a paladin, so maybe have some churches in the background. So I threw in a couple churches here and there in the background in the faint distant, but it still doesn't feel right. I believe I will find more things out through like studying the actual splash art after this episode is completed, but at the moment it's just kind of lackluster. On the top left hand side, I did include what should be his father and his mother, just kind of like being Atlanteans, and then below that is just like a tunnel, and then on the top right hand side is people swimming over the city of Atlantis with a couple of churches off in the distance. Yeah, it's kind of difficult. Part of the problem is actually making the splash make sense and telling a story in the background with just environments. You can include characters. From what I've seen, characters are pretty prominent in backgrounds, but I don't know how to make them tell the story, especially for this character his story isn't quite finished. It's very much in the beginning steps or beginning stages. So maybe it's good that we don't have too much of his background in the environment. Maybe it's good that for these D&D characters, it just to be an environment. So it's kind of like starting as a blank slate, and characters can do what they want with them, because that's kind of the point of character design of the series of the D&D characters, is for new players to kind of find a D&D character, and they could just download all the images, show their friends, be like, hey guys, I'm gonna play as this guy, and enjoy, and let us know what their stories are. So I think for the purpose of the video, I think I did a decent job. But like I said, you guys let me know, comment down below, do you guys think that I did a good job at representing our character in this splash art, or do you think that I could have done better? And if you do think I could have done better, what do you think I would have changed? Just let me know, and I'll see. So that way we can both improve. I can improve in illustration, and you guys can improve in storytelling. Now, if you're going to do this, kind of use the description of the character provided by Emilia in one of the video descriptions that I have, just because we would all have the same thing to work with. I don't really want other people to not have the same story, because then it would be unfair for them to try to make something cool or add on to this character. So yeah, just comment down below, let me know. I'm gonna let the rest of the video play so you guys can enjoy it. Make sure you smash that like button. I really appreciate it, and it helps a lot of people find these videos. I'm not very big in the YouTube community, so every like counts, and every like will lead to somebody new seeing this video. So please show your friends, show your dogs, show your cats, maybe not your cats, show your grandma, your grandpa, your local TCG players, your Dungeons and Dragons buddies, your dragon buddies, your dungeon buddies. Maybe not your dungeon buddies, but you get the point. And feel free to subscribe and hit the bell icon, because YouTube likes to make people double subscribe. I don't understand why. As always, guys, don't forget to stay mystical. Boop. By the way, before you guys go, I forgot to mention that you guys can download all of these things that I have created and a couple of other things that I put together in the description down below. It linked will be the character sheet, the weapon, the items, and a couple of other things that you guys can probably enjoy. So go ahead, grab that. It's 100% for free, so grab it, send it to your friends, and enjoy.
Thank you.